without giving away what we're doing next, but also explaining kind of to a degree what we're doing and why we're doing that way. You at home might have a better idea of what's going on and why we're doing what we're doing. It maybe helps you understand the thoughts of the game and maybe get a little level up on your skill base too, or maybe you'll just be like, oh, I never thought of it that way. So we already determined up front that I won the roll, so I will go first. And on top of that, Steven had choice, so because I had one roll, Steven gets choice, so he'll pick one of these two, and then I'll go with the other. So that means I will stick with Goldie. And of course, these dials are generated by an Etsy artist of amazing talent and skill. They have smaller tournament versions of these that are available on the QR code you can see in the corner. We definitely suggest you give them a scan, give them a try. These things are like godsend. They're really helpful to get everything you need for Hubworld in one quick and easy dial. So it makes it very easy for tournament play. It makes it very easy for just not having a bunch of tokens or whatnot. We absolutely love these things.
Oh yeah, while you're watching this match, you see that nice line. Some of
We start with 3 actions, 5 resources, 0 heat. First turn token has been delayed, and now we're shuffling up. For those at home that are new to this game, or kind of this is the first episode, we're going to be drawing a hand of 5. Then we're going to be determining any cards we do not want from that hand of 5. Then we'll be putting those to the side, drawing back up to the hand of 5, then shuffling the cards discarded back into the deck. And that is the mulligan system for this game. Of course, customary and sportsmanlike conduct to give your opponent the chance to cut. down to here, I will then pay 1 to give you 1 heat, and I will get 1 card from your hand. So let's pick this one here. I see the Eye Enforcers. It does have a discovery, but it says if it's in your grid. Since it was in his council, he cannot use the discovery, so we don't worry about that. I would have the option to pay 5. I had 5 to get rid of it now. It will go scrap. I do not, nor would I if I did. So I get to see it. Goes back to your head. Which is unfortunate. Alright. And then that was my action, and it goes back to
Let me go ahead. Look at Bud.
So that was a good call. It gives me a free agent because anything in the archives is free, and he does not have a cipher attached to him. The reason I went there is I'm not sure what kind of trap might be laying there, and because he has cards, this is knowledge of the cards. Avernus and Blue is going to have cards that give him benefits for getting rid of cards from his own archives, so it doesn't hurt to go ahead and do that and get up on the heat game one more time to kind of see if he's going to let me gain that 3 money from being up on it with money. So that was in general the majority of thought that went into that play. It worked out really well for me too, so I can't honestly Okay, so that was the last action. So we gain 3, we gain a resource, we draw a card, and then the first turn passes, and anything that was exhausted, register. First action choice. So he's trying to limit my hand, which is what Abner's trying to do, while simultaneously getting up an archive goal so he can help me fish out agents from there, just so you guys are at home know what the strategy is. Goldie playing Cooling Off, I could have gone for the run, and with my 3 money spent, that money putting me at 0 to get up on the heat game on that regard. I feel like this does a little more because it replenishes the card in my hand, so my hand's at a 0 loss, while at the same time going ahead and pushing the heat game in the other direction because I go under him still, instead of making him go over me. So I still have the 3 money, but I am threatening if he does not do anything with his next action that I can immediately spin the action. So that was the kind of thought process behind that play. My hand didn't take any loss, it replenished itself, and it still put him in that position without me having to extend my charge. So I still, not only am I threatening money, but I still have 3 money, so I'm threatening going to 6 versus going to 3, which I think boosts itself a little bit. So spicy agent there with no cipher, so free, the game is not tied. Now see, I was originally as the first action to stage him like in the middle, and then like actually pay to reveal him for 3 because when you play an action, you can exhaust him to gain 2 resources. So I could have then like bled off my heat, gained 2 for it, and then drew a card. And it would have gotten it out of my hand, so you wouldn't have been able to fish for it. But we managed to catch him with a 4 and put him in the archive on that move. So that you stopped me from getting resources twice there with your actions. Alright, so now it's even. So again, I will need to push the delve. So I will, as an action, make that delve into the network. Are you going to fortune instant another? So that is just we can see. That is Silent Interrogator. So it has a discovery, but he's forging it, so we're not going to worry about that. If it was discovered, you would have archived the 4 cards that we gave, the bottom 4 cards that we gave you those commons, which is now network. It has a 0 obstacle cost and a 4 presence. Nice. Okay. I will go ahead and choose to disengage from there and not confront that card. So I will bounce. And it will be your action. Yeah, I was worried that this might be something that was going to harm me for balance me, so I used this action to do that, so I would still, if I need, have the ability to last action, delve, first action, gain money is a possibility. Alright. So now I'm going to once again delve how does that really end the turn? Until the confrontation. Okay, so now as a new delve, it's back to 0. That's what I want to double check. Alright, so I will now delve the network. And do you have anything up to here? Alright, I will have to confront it, but it's 0, and I will choose not to spend. And I will pay the 3 to go to 0 to each me to 3. And let's see what we can do. Not that I can afford any agents that are there, but at least on the there's a Barbican gate, so you will gain 1 shard off the reveal there. That requires them to be in the grid, so we do not care about their discovery. My enforcers. And Echo Field Registry, again, all things that I need. Okay, not really great. Okay, after the delve, I will fund run for 3. That will be my last action. monsters that I get rid of, and the trading secrets that I get. And then it goes back to have an exhausted card in my account. Obviously, because they're still in imbalance, my first action is to immediately gain 3, go back up to 3. So I have some money to play with this turn. So then it'll go back to you.
So in this case, we go ahead.
Private Exo Bridge is something I could. Again, 4, I only have 2, so I'm not talking. And there is a guy. However, there is a cipher on this one. Engaged player exiles any number of cards with total shard cost of 3 or more from their council. Because he's managed to get my council down so low, which is another reason why I love this guy. I don't have the cards in hand right now to discard. card is there, because I know the next 4 cards he can draw. So if I know exactly what's fully in his hand right now, there is no hidden information to that level. There's still this, and this that's hidden from me. So I'm not saying it's 100%, but I would at least have the knowledge of what's in his hand and the next 4 cards he can draw from his deck. So that would give me at least a field of vision that would be pretty concrete to what he can do. Because the cards in play, he would have to forge them, and his shard count has been kind of low. He hasn't been able to get his resources built yet. Probably bad draws. And the archives are random cards what you pick by him. But I've also seen the top 3 cards. I know more than likely what that card is in archive. If I remember correctly from seeing the previous, it should be the 3rd card down from that particular moment. So the only really questionable stuff are these 2 cards here if I did his council. And along the way I could discover the council card. So that would be good. I also have thought what would be good is maybe drawing a card, because if I had cards in hand, I'm about to have the first action. And if I draw enough resource built cards, I could get the second agent. That's going to require enough cards in my hand that cost 3 or more. So maybe drawing a card and drawing for end of turn would also be a smart place. So it's kind of 6 1 half dozen the other. I think my gut is saying play conservatively here. So I will draw a card off that. And then I will, that is the turn, get the 3 to 1. I draw a card again. And then see what I Okay, it did not work the way I wanted it to. Well, because he immediately has the option to make a run on my hand. Best play is to play one of these cards and not make 50-50 odds that he can get it out of my hand. So I actually going to play here. Then I am going to forge it for 1, so it'll go to 2. While you have fewer heat in your pool than your rival, which a Goldie deck is always trying to do anyway, this will get +4 presence, so it goes to 6, making it very hard to get rid of, and it immediately can exhaust for 1, paying for itself, which is where you want. And then that means you'll get this card, which I'm not so much worried about in comparison to possibly getting my resource generator. Especially one that pays for itself in turn comes into play and goes up. But obviously it only had a cost of 1, so that plus this obviously had a cost of 3, less than 3. So this is either a 1 cost or a 0 cost card, because he knows that this is 2 or more. The more likely route I would take is to go straight into his deck and grab that agent, because it would have been an easy get for me. So unless this was an agent, then the act of starting it is thwarted. So I would, just as a point of practice, because if you hadn't have said that, and I'm going to pretend you didn't, the smarter play would be to reveal it. Because I need to survive, which costs me money and gives you more information. But if you tell me you're just not going to discover it, I can just let you go past it and then be really happy. So always here, when you get in front of cards, do you have anything for the discoveries? That's when they have to forge it, whether they know what you're going to discover. And it's an agent. If you just tell me I'm going to go over it, I'll be like, okay, just ignore it then, please. But the chance that you would discover it, since he can shift cards, he needs to be paid for. Exhaust this card and Cipher, which engaging players swaps a card in their front row with a card in their back row. You easily can do that with your board setup. So Cipher's kind of a joke, but it would cost you 4 if you're wanting to. Somehow I'm not surprised. Now you gotta swap a card in your front row with a card in your back row, whichever, however you want to do that. Alright. Because in a tournament, you know, if someone did that to you, you're like, okay, like I'm not worried about it. You're just gonna tell, you're giving me the information that I don't have to worry about this, you discovering this guy. Like here, like before a card, like doing like, okay, do you have anything for this? That's fair because maybe it doesn't matter for these other two, but if you go ahead and skip to this one, that lets them make the choice for them. Because if you tell them also that not discover it, then they might get the problem. Yeah. Anyway, so you get the council. You get to see the card. It is threading through. Low cost. Shift the card and you're ready. I mean, it's not bad. Okay. Then I will gain 3. And go to 5. Plus your beat. And we'll go back to you. We only need to find one more agent. We know my hand doesn't matter, so it's either going to be here or here at this point. Well, now we're going to start with the turn. Not getting any of his money creators, that's much stuff. Money goes to take me to church. You will see, I'm just going to show you that one. You saw the threading through already. It's there. So the new card is Cargo Manifest. So knowing that you have 0, but knowing now, you know, I have 3 in my hand to make up 1 for that. But that'll even the game out of 2 to 2, so theoretically it's not the end of the world. But what I was thinking about doing is I hated it because I wanted like once you pay to give me heat, I felt a lot better because I was like he's gonna pay $3 of that $4 to get rid of the carbon manifest just so I couldn't get his agent. But I was debating paying one because it just says ship the card and then straight right over. I was like, that'd be so punky version. I was trying to be real. Like, well, if he has to spend $3 to prevent me from getting his agent, that's fine. Whatever. Grumble, grumble. Alright. So yeah, my next one is to immediately not disparage the gifts I've just been given and make this available on the network. So if you don't have anything there, I'll just do the 0 and then I will tap a Yowling Tizu or exhaust a Yowling Tizu to prevent you from getting money and pay 1 to get over that. And then I will not pay any money because I will give heat despite my intense desire to do otherwise. Alright. So no. There he is. So I need to pay 1. And it just says exile, right? Exile, which means scrap. It would be changed. Scrapped. Number 3. Wow, and there's the win right there that I paid 2 for and grabbed. Good game.
That was in your archives. Alright, any cards at the top.
Dice is a rat. Your win was in. Let's see if you've done that. No, just a 2 cost. Depends on if you'd have paid for the heat to go for or not.
I would.
No, okay, you would have.
Made the conscious choice to be like, let's see what's nice.
Yeah, I would have had to gain the money here just in case you were going to be froggy.
Right.
We would have both gone up a heat. I gained a heat, you gained a heat. So it would have given you the 4 anyway that way. We'd have both. Well, it would have given you 4 on me, but it would have given you 5. That's what I'm saying. It's a confront. It has to be. Well, I have to choose the confront. I have to spend a game of heat to make it, which I would have done. I would have let me go 4 for you to go 5.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was going to go from your deck, so I would have wanted to spend. Yeah, and
I would have had.
and I would have had these 2. There's no shenanigans I could have done. I was trying to like shift, but I can't get over into that lane to hinder me. Yeah.
And again, I think, I always wanted to say this, you can tell this company, it's not like, this was, oh my gosh, now we're running away with it, oh my gosh, she's running away with it, back and forth, it makes it enjoyable, makes it exciting. Like, I'm not saying there are times where you may not see the win in sight, but I would argue there's more games or more times that you see this happening than where it's like really close, like, one person's bound the next down to get a win. It's negative, so it's pretty exciting.
I'm gonna pick a couple cards from your deck to go over before we turn this off for the day, and a couple from this one, just so that way players can kind of get a instead of the top. So that turn I see like 4 cards, none of them are agents. The answer for an aggro deck like this would be to play that one card out in your grid, because then that one would allow me to be able to go, okay, well let's look at the bottom of it. And so that way at least gives me an out while I'm waiting for you to take that stuff off so I can get to an agent. But that's not in this deck, so that's my bad, but it would have been a card, an answer card that you haven't seen. Wall Wizard was an important one that we didn't get to see drawn for this one. It's one with a refund one, so if they kill it, you get your money back. So, but as a reaction, after you complete a breach on a district, so it doesn't matter where, you can exhaust this card to game 2. So it's a mini fun run that you get every turn for 2. And with the 4 presence cost, it's really hard to get rid of. You're going to get your 1 back, even if they pay 4 to get rid of it before you can even use it. So it's super handy as an answer in a resource card for this deck, outside of Goldie and doing her magic. In Cargo Manifest, sorry. After this card is forged, choose another player, look at the top card of their commons, you may add that card to the bottom of their commons. So it's 2 ultimately for 1 a turn, but it also has that ability, so when I see like a card on the top of their deck that I don't want them to draw, but maybe it's an action or something I can't even control or get rid of, or it's costed like an Eye Enforcer, I could forge this, which is giving me my resources, and put that at the bottom of their deck, so that way they don't have access to it either. So it can be a handy kind of meta choice, while also still giving you the resources you need. So those are kind of some of the cards we didn't get to see this game to help you understand what Goldie's doing in other ways. And the reason why this deck was 4 purple, 2 orange, even though it's running orange in its main faction choice, was Street Parade, which you saw coming in handy. That rush for 3 obstacle, 5 presence is just, it can be really handy for stopping the problematic. And because my agent was there, I paid for Street Parade in hopes that maybe I can rebuke him for 1 turn. He was eventually going to get there. I wasn't worried about that, but just stall it. But then it required him to play a card from his hand that would get around that card. So good to get that out of his hand before it was the 3rd agent in the game. He was holding it, now he wants to be able to. I don't have any. The other one was not today. So I saw this at 4 in purple. It was like, I need to do 2 orange, 4 purple. As you discover a moment in a council or commons, you can archive that moment so they don't get it, which is good for things like calling in favors that can give him extreme resources, especially when he was struggling to get resources since he wasn't drawing in that game. Archive it, and then I get to draw cards. Not only does it cost 0, it replaces itself with a card from my deck, but it also is pretty much a destroy target annoying card in its own way. Because in the archive you can get rid of it for free at any time you want, and they're not. Most decks cannot take a card from archives. Blue technically can, but it's not easy to do. You take a card from archives and get it back in your deck or back in your hand. It's not something you can easily do in this game. So putting it in the archives is ultimately saying kill it. Even though it isn't fully dead yet. Then from the blue side, so he was not getting his resources. I mean, just disagreeable inspector from the green 1-for-1 that pays for itself and can reduce obstacle cost, like the Street Parade, would have been very helpful for us. But the big one is containment funnel. Secrets is a gain from moments. And propaganda from moments.
non-agent card.
Engaged player archives one card from their hand or council. So like them hitting it, they gotta literally lose a card from their hand, which Agnes is also doubling down on, so it's Hamish, which is a loss of ability, a loss of options at your table, which helps slow the game down and get your pace going up. And as a player confronts an adjacent card, so hopefully you have it in the middle somewhere, so that way it ups your chances for involvement. Exhaust this card, redirect that player to confront this card. So you can actually detour them off the lanes like council and archives back into council. But another thing, and the city's thing that I thought about with the shift card for like street parade, if I have street parade here and you pay 3 and you get this instant window and I shift it down, you now have to pay 3 for street parade all over again. But you never went back to archives. I had that card. I'm like, that would be so mean.
That would be terrible.
Because I'm like, shift actually, because you're in this instant window. If you shift it down, you gotta do it all over again.
Like iron forcers, like
Holy moly, I can see blue orange using that iron forcer. It would be great. But, so I've also thought about it, like even if it was on the side, let's say you're up here, they get through the card and they're about to engage this one, you could exhaust it and bring them back over here and they can do it all over again. With the archiving card, and get 2 cards out of their hand. So, anyway, but it also gives you 1. So it's giving you the money. You're theoretically going to have to wait to the last action of the game to determine, the round to determine to use the money because you want to hold it in case you need the ability. But it's still giving you money, so it's really good, and it can really, depending on where you place it and how you use it, there's multiple different ways it can really put a kink in what your opponent's trying to do. And then the other one is this Echo Field Registry. After you complete a breach on a district, which is great because again it didn't list any district, that's great. Especially when you're going to be hitting the archives a lot. It's good that it's not pointing you in a direction, so you can utilize it alongside your archives. Shuffle 1 card from your archives into the commons, your choice. So if the random card that Agnes is putting there manages to find an agent, this gives you an out to get that agent back in the deck and out of the oh crap pile. So I think that's like super huge for helping be defensive, but more likely you just want to use it for the gaining a resource. But the fact that you're gaining a resource, but the second something goes sideways, you now have an out to like keep yourself from losing the game. I think is huge. So those are the 2 that were picked for that. And then you have archive the top 2 cards from your commons, gain 2 money, and show another player an agent in your council or archives, gain 4 money. Where this is actually funny, you can play propaganda as an action, show them the agent from your archives, gain 4 money, and then on the next delve, like put that one back in. Like you had 1 action, you showed him zip and now he's gone. Zippity doo dah. So, but yeah, so that's big 4